Okay, thank you everybody for joining us today on our pre-preparation course. Um, Basically, the objective of today's webinar is to help you to walk you through the requirements for completing the program. So first and foremost, let me welcome all of you joining us for this ICF approved coach training program called Transformative Coaching, a revolutionary approach to enable change that is sustainable. And thank you for choosing Coach Masters Academy as your coach training provider. So, Coach Master Academy was established with a mission to inspire positive change through professional coaching. As you're all aware that coaching is a skill-based training, it requires a unique combination of theoretical understanding and the actual skills to effect positive change. So at Coach Masters Academy, we are committed to deliver the highest standard of coach training. Why? Because your success as a coach in supporting your clients to realize their goal is our success. So this program is approved by International Coach Federation for 75 hours of coach training, and by going through our program you can become a certified coach and be empowered as an agent for positive change with the transformation tool for coaching. So and our program is geared towards success with empirical based model for training coaches, and it is supported by the science of EQ and positive psychology. Our unique approach goes deeper to help clients to take ownership of their learning to enable change that is sustainable. Coach Master Academy is present in more than 17 countries in Asia, and today we are glad to have students who are registered in Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, Ho Chi Minh, and Singapore. For in the month of March to May, joining us in this webinar. Before I move on to talk about the program structure and the requirements and your preparations needed, let me officially introduce our program director that you will be meeting when you attend the program on site. Way back in Bangkok, we have Itipat and Biang Suk, and we have Julia and Foreign from Kuala Lumpur, and we have Claire from Ho Chi Minh, and finally myself and Sumant in Singapore. So without wasting your time, let me just get straight to the agenda, the main focus for today webinar. Now, before we talk about the requirements for completing this program, it might be very helpful for me to talk about how the program is structured. The program is divided into two key components. That is the 4 days core training, which is conducted in person. And after the 4 days of in-person training, the group will be organized and into their own respect. I mean, the group will then move on to the second part of the training, which is the supervised practical coaching session. Now, let me just go through the 4 days core training first. Then I will talk a little bit more on the supervised practical coaching. The 4 days core training comprise of 32 hours of classroom learning, and you will be covering four key components. That is, on the first day, we will be talking about discover your passion for coaching. And in this first day, which is really the key to the whole core training program, in the sense that you will understand what is and what is not coaching. And you will also have a glimpse on the psychology of coaching. In other words, what makes coaching works. And in this piece, in this particular topic, we will be talking about how positive psychology is a key part of enabling positive change. And we'll also be talking about the professional definition of coaching based on ICF standard. We also will be sharing with you our philosophy of coaching that is in tandem with the ICF definition. So on the first day, you get the very heart of what coaching is. Once we have completed the first day, we move on to the skill-based training. The whole objective of the core training program is to give you a theoretical framework. And in this theoretical framework, it includes you having an idea what a coaching conversation is. So in these 3 days of in the subsequent 3 days of training, you will be you will be you will be taught on some fundamental principles, the key concepts. You'll be hearing sample conversation, and then you will be doing practice, and then getting feedback from your classmate and our facilitators. Okay, what we'll be covering in these 3 days. On the second days, you will be taught on the fundamental piece of what coaching is, and that is coaching conversation. How do you know that coaching is happening? Well, you know it only through a conversation, and that is the primary vehicle for coaching. The mastery of coaching lies not on the tools and techniques, it lies on how you hold the space, the conversations for the clients. Because whatever that you do or whatever that you want to achieve, you achieve through this conversation. So it is very important that you understand what coaching conversation is and get a feel of what a true coaching conversation is. So we will be talking the coaching presence here and active listening, which are the two key components that will enable you to have powerful asking that directs the client's attention towards a change outcome. So that is the second day coaching conversation. And then moving forward on the third day, you will be taught on the coaching process. Basically, coaching process is what you do in the conversation. And in this third day training, we will be introducing you our coaching technology, our unique proprietary coaching technology that we have designed in-house called the awareness, clarity, and choice conversations. So you will learn how to use this conversation as a process framework to support your clients towards experiencing a shift in their understanding. That will be on the third day. And on the fourth day, we will be sharing with you how you can integrate everything together and deliver it as a coaching process. I mean, as a whole entire piece to your clients. So on the fourth day, we will also be sharing with you how the ICM core competency is weaved into the coaching process, and then we'll also be teaching you on coaching questions. So this basically covers the 4 days core training program. Moving forward, after we have finished the 4 days core training program, you will be moving on to your supervised practical coaching session, where all of you will be given an opportunity to coach and receive feedback from your classmate, and at the same time comments on how you can improve the process. Let me give you a overview of how the structure looks like for the supervised practical coaching. Now, I forgot to mention that it is done via a virtual platform. Uh, Most of the time, the students prefer to do it on a weekday, preferably about 8 p.m. after work. Okay, so some of the program director is using a go-to meeting platform, which is exactly the same platform that you are using right now, or via a Skype if the group size is reasonable enough to manage. Okay, so here is the structure for the supervised practical coaching session. It will be altogether 10 online session. That means you are required to attend 10 practical session. Each session is not more than 1.5 hours. The format of each practical session will comprises of at least a 30 minutes of actual coaching. On the fourth day of the practical coaching session, you will be you all will be gathered as a group, and as a collective you will be working out a schedule as to when will you be the coach and the clients. Now in this practical coaching session there are four unique roles. The first one is a coach and the second one is a client, where everyone will have the opportunity to be at least one time as a coach. The third one is a observer and the fourth one is a facilitator. The facilitator will be using a script that is prepared by us to help to gather a feedback using a structured format that we have designed from the course mate. The observer, basically you have the privilege to observe the recording from a third person perspective, and we always hear our students commenting that well, it is always great to make comments and observation because you are not on the hot seat. So as an observer, even though you are not coaching, but this is a very valuable learning experience for you because you have the opportunity to take a look at the coaching process as it unfolds from a third person perspective, and then you can consider how you can do it differently. Okay, so we have talked about the role of the coach and the client. We have talked about the role of the observer and the facilitator. Okay, so the actual coaching process is 30 minutes, and after the 30 minutes finish, the facilitator will use the structure format to gather feedback from the observer. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and then the whole session will end with a 15 to 20 minutes of comments made by the supervisor. The supervisor will give his comments based on the coaching process, what the coach do, and how is this demonstrating the awareness, clarity, and choice conversation, and what needs to be paid attention to. The supervisor will also use this opportunity to highlight how the ICF core competencies are demonstrated or are not demonstrated. So this is a format that you can expect in a typical practical coaching sessions. Now, the coach for the day, that means the one who is coaching on the day of the practical session, will stay back after everybody has logged off with the supervisor, where the supervisor will provide you with with comments on where your growth opportunity is. Here, the comment will focus on your individual learning needs. Okay, so that is something extra, a value added package that we have included inside our Coach Master Academy. So if you are the coach for the day, you can typically expect that the whole session for the day is 2 hours. Now, as because Coach Master Academy is present in more than 17 countries, uh, from time to time, we will have guest coach from other countries joining us, providing the additional learning perspective. So it is, and why we are doing that is to create a much more richer learning opportunity for our students. So that is the online practical coaching sessions, the structure and the format, and we'll talk about the 30 minutes of mental coaching for the coach who is coaching on the day. Now, this what I've earlier on said forms only the first part of what the supervised practical coaching is, which is done online. This is where you need to be physically present and attend the session online. There is a part two to this supervised practical coaching is where we call the offline self-learning. In this offline self-learning, basically you need to download the recording and then listen to the conversation for the second time, and this time and write down the questions that was being asked by the coach, and then consider how you can improve them. After you have attended the practical coaching session, after you have heard the feedback and the comments, you have the story from the beginning to the ending. This gives you a better position on how you can improve the recording. Now, this is what we usually share with the students. During the practical learning session that is done online, that is not your learning opportunity, that is your demonstrating opportunity, because in the online session you are actually demonstrating what you know, which is the key to improvement, because you need to know where you are right now in terms of your understanding. So the 15 hours of practical learning online simply allows you to know where your point A is. Now, the real learning actually begins at the second part where you do your self learning, because now that you have a case study of what doesn't work or what works, you can now consider how you can improve it. This is a time where you actually learned. Okay, so the practical learning session is for you to demonstrate. The self learning is the time where you learn and improve your skill. What I'm appreciating about the way the supervised practical coaching session is carried out is that it is really focusing on practical. It is focusing on acquiring the skills. And let me say this, coaching is a skill-based training. Well, it is good to have a good sound theoretical framework of what coaching is. But in order to bring about effective change, it is all about you applying those knowledge and being able to execute it out and deliver it. So in the supervised practical session, we are focusing on the integration of your knowledge to skills. This is a very intensive learning experience where our supervisor commits themselves for 15 hours to journey together with you. The second thing that I'm appreciating about this supervised practical coaching is that it gives you what we call, from a cognitive psychology perspective, a matrix of experience. Now, if you attend 10 practical sessions, literally you are hearing 10 different stories. Each story has a different topic. Now, what it does is that your brain will then create different 10 small pockets of learning. And when you complete your self learning, where you have seriously, thoughtfully think through how you can improve the process by restructuring the way you ask or the way your coaching question is, your brain actually remember that. So that next time when you encounter a similar pattern or a similar situation, your brain doesn't need to your brain will have the resource to process and to search for deeper meaning, because it doesn't have to think about how to ask the questions. It remembers the questions and then is able to allow you to free up resources for you to process other other aspects. So this is how you're going to build up your muscles. Okay, by creating different pockets of metrics, so that when you encounter them, you don't need to think too much what to do. Your brain will automatically kick in the process, therefore freeing you precious resource to be able to connect with the clients to find out what other underlying issues is. Okay, so in the end, what we are helping you to do is to build up your brain muscles so that you can be much more effective in the actual coaching process without thinking too much on the coaching questions. So this is a metaphor that we always share with our students. We always use the metaphor of going to a gym, a sport gym. Everybody desire to have that figures, that shape. Well, here is the membership fees to the California Fitness Center. However, we cannot do the exercise for you and then give you back the shape of the figure that you want. Okay, what we can provide for you and support you is to create the structure and the learning environment and the necessary support for you in to hone your learning. But the actual learning, you have to take the responsibility, and that is where you need to go to the gym and sweat it out. At the end of the day, remember this: coaching is a skill based training. You have to work on it in order to get it better. Okay, great. I'm going to pause um, at this point of time, and I'm going to invite anybody have any question that you would like to clarify. So if you have any questions to clarify in regard to what was said, so this is the opportunity for your clarification. I have already unmute everybody. So if you have a questions, you can use this opportunity to ask now.
Ben, this is Eliza, and hi everyone, and Happy New Year.
Hi.
Thank you so much for providing such clarity. A question about the ACC, your Aware, Clarity, and Choice, which is
Mhm,
your proprietary model to be integrated into the ICF competencies. You
mhm,
mentioned that we will have 15 to 20 minutes of feedback from supervisors after we have demonstrated, and I just
mhm.
wanted to know that for the purposes of preparation for that coaching session of 30 minutes, are we expected to demonstrate all the ICF competencies plus ACC? In other words, is that a checklist where the supervisor will be looking out for everything and we have to demonstrate all those things or just certain process or certain competencies which are related to the issue at hand?
Wow, that's a very great question, and thank you for being very sharp. And let me answer it in this way. We will only be doing a final. The assessment will only comes at the end of the 10 practical sessions. So in other words, in every session, this 10 practical session, we are not looking at the full demonstration. We are using this 10 sessions to slowly build out the competency. At the end of the 10 practical sessions, as a way to complete the training, all the students are required
are required to submit one final recording for a final review. And in that review, we will be looking out for at least not 100%, but at least 70% demonstration.
Hmm. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. That's a very, very good question. Anyone else has any questions that you would like to clarify in regards to the program structure? If not, I will move on to just complete this segment by saying what are the requirements needed to complete the training. So, to complete the training, you are required to attend 4 days in person training with minimum 75% attendance. Attend all 10 practical online sessions. Don't worry if you have to miss one or two sessions because you can always make up by attending other cohorts. 10 practical online sessions and complete your 10 comments for every session. Okay, so remember after every practical coaching sessions, you are required to do your self-learning where you need to download, listen, write down, and consider how to improve them. You are required to post your comments to the forum as a way to demonstrate your own accountability to your learning. So, in order for you to complete the requirement for the training, you are required to post fan comments, okay, at least one for every session onto the forum. You will be briefed more in detail on how to use the forum on the actual during the 4 days training. So let me repeat again: 4 days training with minimum 75 percent attendance, attend 10 practical coaching sessions, complete your self-learning for every practical coaching session, and finally, there is three written assignment, which is very, very manageable. Okay, don't get panicked because it's a no, when you hear written assignment, it is something that is very manageable. The first assignment is basically for you to analyze a transcript. We have a two-page actual coaching conversation. All you need to do is that you actually look at them and break it down in terms of the structure. This is structure one, structure two, structure three. This is what the coach is doing. That's all. And usually we do this transcript in the 4 days training program. Okay. The second assignment is a reflection paper. The reflection paper is simply it requires you to watch a movie and then do a reflection paper based on that movie. Okay, so that is the second assignment. And the third assignment is a research paper on any coaching topics that is not more than 1000 words. So this is the requirements to complete your certificate training. Uh, Now, if you have no questions in regard to that, I'm going to move
Sorry, Ben.
up.
Ben, sorry,
Yes,
I hate to ask so many questions,
no
but
problem. Go
a
ahead.
couple of two questions. One, you said at the end of the 10 kind of skills online session, we have one final recording
Yes.
and you have to demonstrate. So tell me more about that. Does that mean you demonstrate one last time? Or what do you mean a final recording?
Okay.
Where does that come from? Yeah.
Good. Thank you for that. Forgot to mention that as part of the requirement. Yes. So after the 10 practical coaching session finish, okay, so you're given about 2 to 4 weeks to do one more coaching conversation, record it, and then submit that as a final review. In that by the time you reach your 10 practical coaching session, based on the comments and feedback, you would already know what are the things that the supervisors are looking for. Okay, so it's a very straightforward standard structure that you need to include that in your recording as a way to prepare you on meeting the ICF requirements at ACC level. So that is submitted after you have completed the 10th practical session, and you're given 2 to 4 weeks to do that.
Sorry, Ben. Does that mean that among the participants, we have to pair up and agree that one will play a client and one will play a coach? Uh, or are you expecting us to actually use a real life client if we have one? Because if you
Mhm.
use a real life client, we have to actually get permission, from
Yes.
them to do that. So is this going to be one of these skills practice where hopefully you've made friends as a result of the 4-day training, and then you pair off and agree that each of you will take turns to play a client and a coach at the same time.
Yeah, if you're referring to the 10 online session, yes, you will be practice among your own course mate.
But this
Okay.
2 to 4 weeks one, I don't
Okay.
understand.
No. Okay. There are two parts to that. The first one is a 10 session. In the 10
Hmm.
session, you will be practicing with your course mate. Okay.
Yes.
Good. So now after the 10 session finished, for the final review, well, the students have two options to consider. You can actually uh, do the coaching conversation with your own classmate again. Or
Hmm.
if you're bold enough and if you do have the opportunity, you can actually practice that on a real client.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, so the
Yep.
options is open for you to decide.
Okay. And then the next one is your question about 1,000 words of research paper. Is
Yes,
there going to be a title, or when you say research, because it's very broad,
yes,
and what are we supposed to be, is there going to be a multiple choice that you can choose a topic to research on?
yes. There will be a multiple choice that is given to you on the last day of your training program.
Hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Topic will be something like what are you appreciating about coaching? In what way can coaching brings about transformation? Things like
Okay.
that. Or
I see.
how can you increase coaching presence in your conversations? Things that resonate with you in these 4 days that you feel that hey, I need a little bit more clarity on that topic, and that's why we invite you to make a simple research paper on that topic.
So your research is not an academic research where you have to
No,
go
no,
and look for
no, no,
certificates.
no, 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 no. It doesn't have. I mean, it can be, but it doesn't have to be always be that case.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Ben,
Go ahead,
Ben, this is Jason here.
Jason. Go ahead, Jason.
Ben, this is Jason here. So your research paper sounds more like a reflective paper. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, you are absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you. The research paper is ready to serve your needs. As you come across something that really caught your attention in the 4 days training, this is something that we want you to really take it back and continue to deepen it. So that is what it meant to be for the research paper. Okay, so we designed the program to serve the needs of the students, not so much to meet a particular requirements, because it it has to be meaningful and helpful. If not, there's no point to ready to do it. Okay, great. As I'm very mindful about the time, let me move on to the next important part, which is the preparation program. How do you actually start your pre-preparation? Now, after today, okay, by the end of this week, you will be receiving invitation to join a box application. Now, this box application is a third party shared software. It's a third party software that allows people to access to a shared folder. So you will receive an email, and all you need to do is just register an account in Box application. Once you register that, it will direct you to this
particular to a particular folder where you have registered. So for those who are in Bangkok, you will get the link for Bangkok. For those who are in KL, you'll get the link from KL, Ho Chi Minh, and Singapore. So each cohort will have their own unique shared folder. In this shared folder, I need you to pay attention to what is inside there so that you know which folder you need to use to start your for your preparation. So in this shared folder, there is a pre-course reading, a resource folder, guideline for training program, and assignment. So for the purpose of your pre-course preparation, I need you to focus only on the pre-course reading. So when you click on the pre-course reading, we have put inside this folder 7 helpful articles which we thought that will give you a good framework to prepare for the training program. Now, this is not compulsory. It is highly recommendable because it gives you a framework on what to expect for the training so that you will not just come in with an empty box. So we have also put the number there. So it is by order of relevancy and important, if I could say. So if you don't have time, start off just read the one with the one. Okay, but if you have more time, you go for two, three, four, five, six, or seven. Okay, so this is a pre-course reading that will be very helpful for you. So that is all you need for pre-course preparation to read these articles. Now, another important thing that I need to highlight is that please wear something comfortable, suitable for physical activity on the first day of your training. Now, let me repeat again. Please wear something comfortable or suitable for your first day training. There will be physical activity on the first day. So having dress appropriately will make sure that you can enjoy the program together with the rest of your classmates. Okay, so that is all that you need to know for your pre-course preparation. Now, is there anyone has a question here?
Can we have a
Ben,
set of the slides? Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
Uh, oh, I was just wondering whether we can have a set of your slides after this.
Sure. You will have the link to review the webinar again. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone?
Ben,
No, Ben,
Okay.
Frank here.
Okay.
Just
Let's.
how much? Can you hear me, Ben?
Yes, Frank. Go ahead.
Hi. How much time is there between the 32 hours, and then the practical learning
Usually, the student starts immediately the next week.
the next week? Okay.
Yeah, and again, it depends on the group on when they want to start. But usually they start 1 week after that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Jason, you have a question?
yeah, Ben, I think I don't know how many people are from Singapore going, but for those who are driving, you might just want to fill them in terms of like the parking and all those. That could be a
Oh,
bit later, but
yeah,
just
that will be.
just a reminder.
Thank you. Yes, yeah, the detailed logistic part will be via email. Thank you, Jason, for that concern. Okay, anyone else has any questions regarding the pre-course preparation? If not, I would like to end off the webinar here today session with a thought for all of you. The first one is two things that we should give our children: the roots and the wings. And and this is what we want to give to our students in Coach Masters Academy too. The roots to ground your coaching, and and that is the reason why we choose transformative coaching as the core training for our coaches, because by using a transformative approach, we are enabling our students to help their clients to deepen their learning. When you think about change, what will enable change
it has very little to do with our external context. It does help to change the context, but to bring about change that is sustainable, you need to go beyond the external facts, the external situation, and able to deal with the internal factors, things like the way the client is thinking. And what we believe is that change is often a result of some form of learning. And the route that we're giving our students is the ability to help students to be connected to their thinking so that they are able to learn something about themselves, learn something about the circumstances which they have never thought about. So this is a route that we are giving to our students, and with that strong root, we are confident that that will allow our students to excel well in their coaching, because coaching that brings about real impact is to coach the clients around awareness. It has There are rooms where we coach the clients around the things, the way they do things, but to bring about change that is sustainable, it has to begin with awareness. And that is where the mastery comes in. How do you connect? How do you enable the clients, your clients, to start to know more about themselves and the connections between their actions and their thinking? So that is where the coach is the most powerful, where you can coach the clients around their thinking. And I want to end off with a quotation. It says that the purpose of learning is growth, and our mind, unlike our body, can continue growing as we continue to live. One of the things that we enjoy a lot in our academy is that we all get to learn and grow together. And that is the most beautiful part. As you learn to coach so that you can bring about change to your clients, you will be surprised that how much your desire will bring about a positive change to yourself. Because to bring about true coaching is all about you as a coach, how you are practicing a servant leadership, because it is less about the coach but more about the clients. And if this is true, then it requires you to really connect with the clients. It's about you trying to put yourself in the client's position, and that is a very humbling process. And when you truly deliver that, it really shapes you up to be a different kind of person, a kind of person that really connects to the people, who really wants to listen and help the person to think from within. So this is the growth process for you as a students who are preparing yourself to be a coach, because the change is not just what you bring to the clients, but you as a coach will also experience the change as you truly practice what professional coaching is. So with this I'm going to end today's session, and I'm looking forward to see all of you in person in those respective country, where we will have a 4 days of fun together. Let me assure you, it's going to be a 4 days of very transformative learning experience together. Okay, before we close, is there anyone else has any questions? Okay, so it seems that there is no more questions, and I'm going to end the recording.